Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu. Here with a brief reminder, man, from Surah Tawbah. And I've actually seen like a short clip of a video where a particular imam was speaking on these ayats. But it's a couple of ayats that come after it that kind of was life changing for me back in the day, which made me transition into becoming somewhat of a person that practices Zuhd to the best of my ability, and possibly I could be a little better at it. And they're important, man, because it shows Allah explains how a lot of the trickery came in Sirat al-Mustaqim. And it's beautiful because when people know people who speak on like Egyptology and certain things like that, the way they try to say this is the true story of Jesus and that the Christians stole it and things like that, it's deep, and I'm gonna touch on it. And a question that a person sent me about some of the interview. What kind of, in reality, we didn't know which direction we was really going to flow or what was going to be said, right? But we did want to make sure certain things was discussed because things is plaguing the Muslim communities, especially us. And I say especially us because we know our issues. We don't know the internal issues of other races of Muslims, but we know what plagues us. You know what I'm saying? Just like outside of Islam, we know the issues we have with our community. We all know it and we all aware of it, and we do absolutely nothing to fix it. We just adapt to it and it become our way of life. But in Islam, as in Muslims, we need to start learning how to recognize those problems, right? And identify solutions and start to change it before it's too late for us as Muslims. You see? Because we do, you have a lot of people that's teaching and talking about certain books and high levels of Islam, and it's giving us stuff to parrot. So like, and then I try not to follow that pattern, because let's say some people never worked on a car before, but I'm a high level mechanic. If I sit them in a classroom with no car in front of us, right, no car parts, and just start saying, well, the way to fix your car, if it breaks down and you don't know how it starts, what you have to do is go to this and then go to that and then take this screw and then do this and then do that. So I'm telling people and explaining to people how to fix a car with no car in front of me, right? How many people gonna be able to get up out of their seat and leave that room and go fix a car? Now, some people may be able to follow along. Some people going to be like, well, what is that? What is that? I don't even know what he's really talking about. But then they may leave and remember what was said and talk to somebody and say, well, when you want to fix a car, when it do this and when it's doing this, you do this and you do that. And then the person be like, oh, okay. The brother knowledgeable about fixing cars. But if you put a car in front of them, they can't fix it. So I want to be a part of talking about the real issues that we have and showing how I'm plagued by those same real issues. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know everything. I'm still learning as well, in life and in the deen. You see? So some of the stuff that I discuss and the ways that I do it is trying to bring practical solutions, like this is how you fix it, as opposed to there's a hadith, the Salaf said this, and this. Okay, we know what they said, but we still don't know how to implement. So like some of the stuff we bring into our marriages, man, we're having difficulties fixing it. And just like one of the brothers got in the comment and said, this is my exact, what you talking about right now is my exact same situation, man. So this be a lot of people's situation. Now, Islam do teach us how to fix it, but we don't know how to get that practical information and start to implement it, man. So some people, because of the type of relationships they're used to and the type of relationships that they're in, sometimes with sisters, if they have self-esteem issues, or they usually have people whose self-esteem is lower than theirs, so they always feel a level be above them. And we just gonna keep it 100. In reality, some people are above other people. There's people I'm above and there's people above me. It just depends on what it's on. Whether it's in knowledge, whether it's in discipline, self-discipline, whether it's looking better. You see what I'm saying? Somebody is always better than somebody at something. Right? So when they with another person and they have self-esteem issues and they used to being this, sometimes they can't understand that they are enough. You see, like, and this is male and female. Sometimes brothers can't comprehend that for the sister that you are enough. So quit trying to be above it and quit trying to be this, because like I'm saying, with the dynamics, it slowly but surely turns into, from both sides, where instead of the brother being her man, he becomes her baby, right? And then instead of her being his woman, she becomes his baby. You see? And it's because they can't accept the fact they are enough. I don't know what to do. How can I please you? How can I go through this? You're enough. All you have to do is just be you. You see, like you take extremely wealthy men. Okay, we talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, $200-400 million. Unless there's a female that has billions of dollars, what is it that she could bring to him? They usually have maids that do all the cleaning. They have chefs and cooks that do all the cooking and meal prepping, right? So when a wife comes in, so like if he take a particular woman in, she might feel like I don't know where I belong here, but can't accept you're here because you are enough. You're not here to be a maid. You're not here to be a cook. You're not here to be this and that. But if you want to do those things, go ahead. But that's not what's going to keep you chose. You already have been selected. You see? So sometimes when they have certain insecurities and self-esteem issues, this dynamic starts to come forth. And it's the same way with the brothers. You've already been chose. Sometimes you're putting yourself in a position where you're really making yourself look weak to that woman. You know, where she's starting to look at you different. And it's because of the ways that we have from the dunya and being through too much turmoil and coming to the deen, and we bringing that foolishness with us. And we don't know how to let it go. Because some people love what hurts them. It's a comfort zone. Right? You could take a person who's been in the projects all their life and all they know is project life. Kind of like this. Like I said in some of my videos way back, I referred to certain people as institutionalized. You have some people that been in prison so long, like I seen a couple of videos where they was telling some people after 20-some years, after 30-some years, you are released. We have decided to grant your parole. We're going to free you today. And they like, You're gonna free me? All I know is this. Where am I gonna go to? How am I gonna live? I'm not even gonna know how to function out there. Sometimes people like that in relationships because they institutionalize. So when it comes to a relationship that's healthier, more beneficial for them, male and female, they scared. How am I going to survive it? How am I going to do this? So they'll run back to misery. Just like some of them people, when they get let out of prison, they do stuff to intentionally go back because they institutionalize. And then some people be scared, but they take them steps forward and they end up thriving. You see? So these things plague our marriages. But anyway, to get to this ayat, but first I want to show this and show my gratefulness. You know, wallahi, this isn't no joke. The sister sent me a gift, man, from either came from Mecca or Medina. So I'm going to open it up and everybody get to see what it is right along with me. And you know, sometimes, man, stuff like this, man, you know, occasionally, you know, people send me gifts occasionally. But just to keep it 100, you know, I will gift them something too. You know, like if they need, you know, I'll probably send them a book or something, you know. So, you know, they told, you know, but when somebody in Mecca, man, or Medina, and they think about you, you know, enough to send you a gift, man, like, you know, it's kind of heartwarming, man. It's humbling, man. You know what I'm saying? Because some people see your true intentions and who you really are, you know? Some people, man, your worth really doesn't outgrow what they feel like they could benefit from you. You know what I mean? So sometimes, man, like regular conversations can seem like a targeted attack, you know? And then some people can hear the exact same conversation and it's growth for them, you know? So sometimes, man, being appreciated, mashallah to better Allah. Alhamdulillah. Man, it's beautiful, man. Let me bust that open, man. Well, there's something else in here too. Let's see what this is before I open that. Mashallah to Allah. And see, I'm an oil person. Let's get a scent of it. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khairan, man. May Allah Azza wa Jal allow this to weigh heavy, man, on your scale of good deeds in the day that you're going to need it the most. Right now, I'm finna use some of this so that you can get the barakahs for it. Smell pretty good, too. Let's get us a little, let's see what's that, man. Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. Jazakallah khairan. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I'm gonna throw this on right here. I'll probably rock it to my next Juma. But I'm gonna make sure right now that I immediately put it on so that you can get some instant barakahs from Allah Azza wa Jal. Alhamdulillah, man. You know. And see that this just goes to show, man, for like people who have true appreciation, there's no gift that's too small or no gift that's too big, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, well, alhamdulillah, man, wallahi, I'm this make me feel good, man. Like, all jokes aside, this really made my day. I'm gonna throw it on right now. I ain't even gonna fold it all the way because I could still rock it like this. And then I don't want nobody to see the video too much and think I'm trying to be like a sheikh. They don't know what's really going on, but I'm gonna throw it on like this. And see, one thing, I'm gonna give everybody else a jewel too. One of these, what you can also use these for. Like when you have some that's not in color, I mean that's not all white, you have some colorful ones. I used to keep these around So like sometimes when you go somewhere, you can lay this down. Like you see how I keep it in a rectangle? You can lay it down and use it as a prayer rug. It's long enough for your body to fit on it. So like I keep some that's like maybe black and white or like black and red, and then I keep them with me, and then that way if I go somewhere and I don't have no prayer rug or nothing, you could take one of these, or like when you traveling. Like when I'm traveling, I really take one, because not trying to be funny, but sometimes these masjids, they neglect their carpet. So I take one of these and lay it down and use it as my prayer rug in the masjid. So, I'm going to throw it on like this right here, man, and do a little bit of this video so that they could get some better cotton, man. May Allah reward you, man, and may it allow it to weigh heavy on your scale of good deeds. And every time, as long as it's in my presence, every day, every minute, you get some barakats for getting both of these to me, man. Allah is, alhamdulillah. So may Allah reward you. And may it be an expiation for any sins you may have, or whatever the best way that Allah, I make dua that the best benefits that you can get from it, forgiveness for me, may Allah bless you with it. Let me throw them on. Yeah. So I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to be over pious or have that look, or like the Ashris say, the Salafi starter kit. Look, let me put my pen in my pocket so the Ashris could see this and start to diss me. Look, they say this right here is the Salafi starter kit. Pens in the pocket and one of these. So anyway, you know what I mean? They might see the video and be like, yeah, let's diss the brother, man. He got the Salafi starter kit. Which that's kind of funny to me. He got pens in his pocket in the video as if I possibly didn't have a life before the video where I'm actually using the pens. And where I'm going to actually use the pens after the video. But they don't realize, man, that stuff can be slander, But shout out to them, Matter of fact, let me pull it down a little bit right there, because I feel like I'm doing too much. So, alhamdulillah, man, jazakallah khairan, may Allah reward you. So, in Surah 9, ayah number 30, right, it says, the Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah, right? While the Christians say that the Messiah is the son of Allah. Such are their baseless assertions. These are baseless claims. These are things that they utter with their own mouth, right? They're only parroting words of earlier disbelievers. Y'all hear that? They're only parroting words of earlier disbelievers. So right now, when you look at people, okay, I say mainly in our culture, when I say our culture, I'm definitely referring to black Americans. So you have like Egyptologists and things of this nature, and they try to trace religion back to Kemet, some say Kemet, and these different origins. And they'll try to say this right here, this story is the story that the Christians stole and said this is about Jesus. This story is the story that the Jews stole and said this was this. But this person is the real son of God, right? Which God was either Ma'at or God was either this. But you have to understand, they had multiple gods. You see? And when you really get into it, so basically, these stories transition, because you have to understand, there was a Siratul Mustaqim before the religion came where people referred to themselves as Jews. See? They just have a tricky way of presenting it, like Allah sent everything to the Jews specifically. Like there was no religion before the Jews. Right? This is some of the confusion. So then you have African American groups who come in and want to say, because we are the original Jews, there was nothing before what this came down, what people refer to themselves as a Jewish religion. But Allah Azza wa Jal is letting us know that the Jews and Christians are parroting what the Kafirs said before them. When they saying certain things like, this is the Son of God, attributing babies and children to the Creator. You see that wisdom from Allah Azza wa Jal? They ain't doing nothing but parroting the Kafirs that came before them. Ain't that amazing? Ain't that amazing? But not to get stuck on that. So, may Allah Azza wa Jal condemn them, fight them, destroy them. How can they delude? How can they be deluded from the truth? Huh? They have taken their rabbis, their monks, their bogus scholars, as well as the Messiah of Maryam, Isa ibn Maryam, the Christ, as lords besides Allah. So due to this trickery of them imitating the kuffar, so look at us. Listen to me say that way. Look at what happened because they decided to imitate the kuffar. What's going to happen to us if we continue to keep imitating the kuffar and taking it lightly and not really understanding it? And like what I'm saying with the marriages, we keep coming into marriages and relationships doing what? Imitating the kuffar. And it's not working for us as a whole. And some of us just marrying for what we can get out of it, brother and sister, to where it's a contract deal where people don't even know how to just come together and be a couple anymore. It's all about who's winning, who's in control, who's getting the most out of it, who's doing the least and still benefiting from the brothers and the sisters. And then when one is not getting their way, they get vindictive. The brothers and the sisters, they do simple, mischievous things to try to break the other one down, to bow down and submit to them. But not realizing, man, some people only gonna submit to Allah Azza wa Jal like that, man. You see, we keep imitating the kuffar. Now this isn't every case, but this is a reality. And look what happened. Look what happened because they chose to keep imitating the stories from the kuffar to the point where the monks, the rabbis, the scholars started to teach this falsehood. They started to teach this same falsehood and they tricked the people. But look what it say though. Even though they were commanded. See how Allah calls it. Look, they have taken their Lord, taken their rabbis, their monks, their scholars, their people of knowledge, right? The students of knowledge, and Isa ibn Maryam as the Lord besides Allah, even though they were commanded to worship none but Allah. Because there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. Glorified is Allah, who is above all that they associate him with. Now, unfortunately, because you have ayats like this that say because Allah is above what they associate with him, some people will take this verse and distort it and say when Allah says he is above the heavens, right? He is above what he created, right? Or he's in the highest level of heaven. They'll take this and say, well, see, you thinking above means literal. It just means he is not below him. So they'll also take this stuff and start to distort this, not listening to what Allah said, not listening to what the Rasul said, but they start to listen to certain rabbis, because in Islam we're going to say scholars. They start listening to certain people who they consider to be scholars, certain learned men who put these thoughts and processes into them, and now they just parroting it. Just like these people parroted that Allah Azza wa Jal had children. This is something that started before the Jews and the Christians, before they had a deen. And then the rabbis and the monks, the scholars, pushed that agenda. But what's to it? Let's go into it some more. Right? They only wish to extinguish the light of Allah Azza wa Jal with their mouth. It's some of their goal. It's some of their goal, man, to extinguish the light of Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? With their mouths. But Allah will only allow His light to be perfected, even to the dismay of the disbelievers. Some people can't believe with the way that they bomb Muslim countries, the way they bomb Muslim children, even to the point where they bombing and killing Muslim children so young, so innocent, they actually look like baby dolls. And not in just one area, in different areas, whether they have an Arab looking skin, whether they have black looking skin, whether they have yellowish skin, because this persecution is happening in more than one area. And they can't believe that this is making more people come to Islam. They dismay at the fact that they can't destroy the deen of Islam. But what can they do? They can corrupt it. They can corrupt it. And they can have particular people, and they work their way up in the ranks of particular groups, and then they become the known people to listen to. And what happens? They start turning people into parrots. This is their way. And Allah Azza wa Jal is giving it to it. So now you have so many people talking about it, but they don't know how to be about it. And they trying to talk about high level, intricate issues that don't even concern us, to the point that we can't follow the very basics of Islam if somebody paid us money from A to Z. And we talking about the basics. It's ridiculous, man. And it's not working for us. But look at the blueprint. Look at how they started. So look what he says, right? So Allah's light will only be perfected even to the dismay of the disbelievers, the deniers, the destroyers, the ones whose plan is to extinguish Allah's light, extinguish the deen of Islam with their mouth by trying to corrupt it. Allah is the one who has sent a messenger with the hikmah of the sunnah, with the true guidance and the true version of the religion, in order to make it prevail over all others religions that were sent before it. How do we fix our mouth to say we need to reject the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How do we fix our mouth to say that stuff, that sunnah, those hadiths, they are there to corrupt this and corrupt that, but at the same time, we supposed to listen to you when you wasn't even there? You may not realize it, but you looking to extinguish the light of Allah Azza wa Jal with your mouth. Allah Azza wa Jal is telling us where it's at. Telling us why he sent the messenger. Not to just tell us what the Quran said. The Quran tells us that he was sent to do more than that. And that we were supposed to cling on to the way that he taught us how to practice this religion, man. This ain't no joke. But look where the corruption comes in. Look where it starts. We imitating the kuffar and becoming parrots of kufr. Yeah. Look what else it says though. O believers, indeed, many rabbis and monks. See, we're going to refer to these people as scholars, because in our deen, they're scholars, right? Many rabbis, monks, scholars, people of knowledge, learned people, consume people's wealth wrongfully while they're hindering people from the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. So some of them really just only in it for money. Some of them is really in it for what they can get from the people. So you look at some of these mega churches. They just dare to suck the collection plate dry, while they truly hindering people from the way of Allah. And then what they do is start calling it prosperity preaching. As long as you put more money in this pot, the more just going to come out of it to you, where you can become prosperous and you can become successful and you can have all of this wealth. See, that's their monk. That's their rabbi. This person that they get up and go worship every Sunday in front of them or through the TV, but don't realize that they worshiping them. Because Allah referring to it as worship. Why? Because they taking these people as their Lord over Allah Azza wa Jal. This prosperity preaching, this moving people away from Allah's real way and making people hoarders of wealth. The game of who got the most and being miserly, stingy, a world full of unnecessary debt. Hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in debt. Listening to some man that they done took as they rob. But look what happens with this. Right? Look what happens with this. So many rabbis, monks, scholars, people of knowledge consume people's wealth wrongfully, and they only hinder people from the way of Allah. Give good news. That's sarcasm again. Give good news to them of a painful torment to those who hoard their gold, their silver, their wealth, all the stuff that they accumulated, and then at the same time they do not spend in Allah's cause. So all these people with got a whole room in their house just to keep their Jordan collection. Then they got to buy all these special boxes and all this other stuff to keep the shoes from rotting. The hoard a Jordan collection, a Nike collection, and now they got to move to a place where they got a whole room just to put all the clothes, all the baseball caps, all of the unnecessary pants, all of this. They don't know this is hoarding wealth. And not all the plotting and scheming, the ripping off other people just to hoard this stuff. The debt, all the interest that they done put themselves in just to have a closet full of stuff that they don't even wear. Stuff that they don't even remember. Now that's a difference in sometimes you still have stuff because you have stuff that's extremely old and you haven't gave it away or did anything with it, and you bought new stuff. Not like in the case where you got new stuff and then you buy new stuff and then you buy new stuff and then you buy new stuff and then your new stuff just becomes old because you never wear it. See, there's a difference. This stuff is hoarding wealth, because wealth is more than just money. You see? And like I said, these is the ayats that started making me transition to practice Zuhud, what we coming into. So look what it says, right? Give good news to them that a painful torment will come to those who hoard their wealth and they don't spend in the cause of Allah. So they not paying zakat properly when it comes to the Muslims. We hoarding all this wealth. We taking credit cards. We getting loans just to get a whole bunch of stuff to put in our house to sit around and make it look pretty. We buying all these clothes and shoes just to keep our esteem up and feel better. Look what we got. And then we don't even go nowhere. Some of us don't even go to work. We got all this stuff and don't even go nowhere. Just unnecessarily shopping and spending, being a spendthrift. And then some of us, we do go places, but we go to work and we come home. We may go to the grocery store. What do we need all this stuff for? Because we caught up. We caught up. We taught this is prosperity. We're prosperous. We doing it big. Keep on doing it big. Keep on doing it big. And then at the same time, you don't even pay zakat. Imagine all the stuff that we waste money on, how we took that same money and paid zakat with it. See the difference? See, one leads to the hellfire. The other leads to Jannah. You understand? Imagine if we took that money and did some things that benefit the Muslim Ummah. Help pay for some carpet to go in a masjid that's built up on righteousness. Put it in a box. Donate to a masjid that's built on righteousness, with real classes, with real Islamic etiquettes. Not to the masjids of bid'ah. And we talking about real bid'ah, not just calling them a masjid of bid'ah because they don't refer to themselves as Salafi. Not that. We talking about real bid'ah. Stuff that really take people out of the fold of Islam, where they stuff is being invalidated. But look what else it says, right? The day will come. Now look what the painful torment is going to be. We waste the money and don't even spend in the cause of Allah. So like the sister may not know, even though this is a gift, they spent in the cause of Allah, man. Some people don't even get a Muslim a gift. We'll go buy some shoes. We'll go buy some clothes. Sisters will go buy some purses just to hang up in a closet somewhere, and won't even buy another Muslim a sandwich, man. That ain't even ate good. But let's continue. The day will come when all this stuff that they consider, these are their treasures. This is all the stuff that they done wasted money on, done used credit cards, and done established all this riba and all this debt. They have a bunch of stuff that sits around to make them feel high and mighty. Allah Azza wa Jal is going to take all of that stuff, no matter what it is, whether you got 15 cars, whether you got 5 cars, 2 motorcycles, 3 cars, 2 trucks, and 2 motorcycles, and really only drive 1 or 2 of them. This is hoarding. This is hoarding. And then on top of that, you don't even spend in the cause of Allah. Even down to the mandatory zakat. Look what it's going to be. Allah is going to gather up all of that stuff. And the hadith on this is beautiful. right? Allah is going to gather all that stuff and it will be heated up in the fire of hell. And then their foreheads, their sides, and their backs will be branded with it. So when you look at the hadiths, just to give a form of some understanding, to simplify the understanding. All this stuff that you, especially if in their case you playing people, you just taking people wealth unjustly, right? Or you involving yourself in a whole lot of debt just to be wasteful, right? Allah's going to take all that and accumulate it. And we're talking about over the years. Let's say you've been doing this for 15 years, right? And then Allah Azza wa Jal put it on a scale and you've wasted $200,000. But then you never sincerely spent 50 cents in the cause of Allah Azza wa Jal. You never even spent 50 cents on real zakat. So Allah is going to, let's say it accumulates in this $100,000. Then $100,000 is going to be bust down into $100,000 worth of coins, $100,000 worth of pennies, and this is going to be all heated up. And then that one penny is going to be put on your forehead to where it just burns all the way through your body. And they're going to be put, like I said, they're going to be put on your forehead. They're going to be put on your side. And they're going to be put on your back. And it's going to burn you to the point where you're going to be branded with it. Now you add up $100,000 worth of pennies. But that don't mean it's going to be the size of pennies. The coin might be so big that when it's put on your forehead, it might take up your forehead and some of your face. The coin might be as big as a plate. We don't know what it's going to be like. Yeah. And then Allah Azza wa Jal is going to burn you and brand you with it. Yeah. This is something to think about. And then look what it says. And then Allah Azza wa Jal will be said to them, this treasure that you hoarded for yourselves, now taste what you hoarded. Get you a little taste of this punishment that I promised you in my book, especially for the ones who say all we need is the Quran and nothing else. But then they still violate these laws. This don't mean you can't have nothing. But see, some people going in debt to have it. Some people ripping off people to have it. Some people using women to have it. Some women using men to have it. Up to no good. And Allah Azza wa Jal is saying, give good news to these people that I'm going to catch up with them. Give them the good news that Allah going to catch up with them. Now, when you have hard-earned dollars and you doing this and you just have some nice things, but you're not being too overly extravagant and you're doing it for the right reasons, not for showing off, not to make yourself feel better than others, not to feel prosperous. And it's unfortunate because the kuffar is caught up in that way of life. To them, it's the way of life. At least the Muslim know, man, I need to tone it down, man. This ain't righteousness. The Muslim at the masjid don't even know where his next meal is coming from. And here I am throwing food away. This Muslim right here been sitting in the dark with candles in his home. But here I am trying to splurge $1,000 on trinkets. things to make my house look prettier, things to decorate my car, things to I done turned my bedroom into a closet, and now I got to put fancy lights and decor to make my closet look like a store. When I'm praying next to a Muslim who been sitting in the dark lighting candles, and I know it, and I'm gonna make dua for you, brother. I'm gonna make dua for you, sister. We caught up. We're gonna be sitting up here being wasteful and hoarding, and then don't even spend in the cause of Allah. There's no way we understand our deen like that. But anyway, man, those ayats right there, they changed me, man. But when you see how people talk today, going to the beginning of it, see, we think that the Jews and the Christians, we think that Jesus was the Son of God. We think that type of talk started with them. But when you do go look into Egyptology, and they, from these points of views of these people, and they look at these walls and all this type of stuff, they say the exact same stuff. Even to the point where they say the Jews and the Christians stole them stories from them. But guess what Allah Azza wa Jal said? Allah Azza wa Jal ain't saying they stole the stories from them. They saying that they parroted them. Allah never said anything about Isa being his son. The way that they trying to push it. Where did they get that from? They repeating the kuffar before them. Imitating the kuffar, look what it's leading to. Us imitating the kuffar, look what it's leading to. So anyway, man, let me get up out of here. Jazakallah khairin. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you with good in this life, good in the next life, and give you abundance of good that you seek. You know what I'm saying? For getting this for me. And this oil. And this oil is nice. You know what I'm saying? So I made sure I used some, and I made sure I put this on and did a video in it, so that your rewards start right now. And made dua for you, and I'm going to continue to make dua for you. I appreciate it, man. You put a smile on my face, you know? Alhamdulillah, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.